baby beard.
Waited for you, Fry.
This episode traumatized me as a young person.
My head is hurting again.
Where's my firstborn son?
God does not care about me masturbating.
Your singing is bad and you should feel bad.
First get out into bus, you're like, oh no!
Yeah. I don't like myself becoming the protagonist of this podcast. You've been in
Yeah, because you haven't learned anything.
Shut up. Take my podcast.
Welcome, everybody. See, you've got the American accent now as well.
Southern drawl.
Southern drawl. A bit of a... Not Kevin Spacey anymore. Who is a better person to do this?
I may just be
Foghorn Leghorn.
Well, I was going for I may just be a simple hyper chicken.
Yeah, maybe we should stay on brand.
Yeah,
and
maybe.
Use an example from Futurama, because we are indeed Shut Up and Take My Podcast. Side mission where we deviate from our regularly scheduled program to bring you something a little different because you deserve it.
And because we don't have the next DVD.
We don't have I don't even have the DVD yet.
Let alone Blu-ray.
No, which I don't know if I'm going to be able to. And as always, I am joined here by Phil.
Less polygons than a PS2. And I'm joined by Sean.
Why does Australia have to be the arse of the ship?
Wait, what?
We're the arse of the mum ship.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Australia's the arse. Why are we the butt of everyone's
We're the powerhouse. This is where all the fossil fuels are.
We got that booty.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Literally, the engines just come out and all the coal buried in Australia just gets lit on fire.
So we are the junk in the trunk,
yes,
as it were.
That's why it doesn't actually go anywhere.
So, and just as a quick note, we do not have Miss Ellen with us today.
We lost her.
Yeah, she's gone. She's dead.
Gone forever. We have her rabbit. We'll remember her by that.
We've never mentioned her rabbit before. We have a rabbit in the household, by the way. Do you remember the name of the rabbit?
Well, it was a topic of conversation before we began recording, so it's a bit of a softball to me there.
You sound like you're stolen.
It's Preston.
There we go.
Yeah.
It is Preston.
Preston the bunny. Preston the prestigious.
Prestidigitation. What is that?
Prestidigitation?
How do I know that word?
Prestidigitation. You may have come across it in D&D.
Oh, in D&D it is. It's
anything you do with
it's a cantrip, isn't it?
Yeah, it's anything you do quickly with your fingers.
Yes,
so
that doesn't necessarily require magic, or is it a spell?
Within D&D, yes.
It does.
Yes.
Right.
It's a cantrip, doesn't require a spell learned. But in the real world, it's basically the sort of up-close magic that people do, where they disappear things in their hands. Yeah. What you're doing right now is prestidigitation. It's highly impressive.
For the audio listeners, you'll never know.
You'll never know what he was doing.
You'll never know what I was doing.
You'll just have to take from my tone how impressed I was.
So we are doing, as our side mission, we have looked at Futurama, The Lost Adventure.
We did look at that, which we found on the DVD for The Beast with a Billion Backs.
Yes. So this, if for those that are unaware of The Lost Adventure, so the Futurama game that came out in 2003, there was obviously a whole bunch of cutscenes that came together to formulate some measure of an episode. And the writing for the episode is what's considered the big strength of an otherwise lackluster game.
My seasoned gamer brain could tell from the clips that it was a pretty terrible game. Those are the highlights, and you
judged it quite quickly.
Pretty bad.
But it's,
it's a 3D platformer. That's very hard to pull off. It's not impossible. You got things like Ratchet and Clank and
never played.
Banjo-Kazooie.
No, I have played.
Spyro.
Never played.
Those are all pretty decent 3D platformers, but it looked very clunky from what we were seeing.
So The Lost Adventure, they basically took all those cutscenes and put them all together, spliced with a bit of gameplay to make a cohesive episode.
Cohesive in quotation marks.
But yeah, it's quite.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have differing opinions on this.
Okay,
which is
sure.
Great. Sure. The director for this episode, the voice director he is quoted as for the first time. The voice director specifically is David X. Cohen.
Yes. Okay.
And the executive game designer is Matt Groening. As far as we're concerned, not in the continuity of where the game actually was created. The last time we saw David X. Cohen was Rebirth, so at the start of his season. So, you know how I give a little, see the last time you heard about this person?
Last time we heard from him, only in our timeline.
In our timeline, yes. Because we're time travelers.
Because this was made in, what did you say, 2000?
There's two different options. I will give you that soon.
I love options.
The writer for this episode is J. Stewart Burns, who, as I completely forgot, hasn't been around since season 3.
Oh, wow.
He didn't write anything in season 4. He came back to write one episode in this season that we're up to now.
Right, so you didn't mention him because it wasn't quite his swan song.
Not quite.
Yet.
No, not yet. So he last wrote Roswell That Ends Well for us. That's how long ago it's been since we've had a J. Stewart Burns episode. The season 3 winner of Shut Up and Take My Podcast currently. Yeah. The air date for this episode, or the release date, as it were. So we got 2 different dates for you. The date that it came out as a game was August 1st, 2003. The date that The Lost Adventure came out was August 6th, 2008. So almost 5 years to the day. That's
when the DVD came out.
Billion Backs came out.
What was the game called?
Futurama, the game.
Oh, creative.
Yep.
Love it. Perfect.
I mean, they branch out later with The Worlds of Tomorrow.
Yeah, different kind of species of game.
Yes.
The Worlds of Tomorrow.
The app venture.
App game, yeah.
App venture, as it were. Introducing 2 characters that actually have their debut in the game. First one.
King of the Sun.
Yep. So his name is Imposter Sun God.
Right.
And then there's also Ra-Ra, who was the first guy they meet on the planet Sol.
Right.
So they're just, I don't know what creatures they are. I guess they're just solar creatures.
Yeah, just creatures who live on the sun.
They look like slightly easier to look at versions of the antagonist from Bender's Big Score.
Yes,
the nudists.
Nudar and his scammers. Yeah.
They're like slightly more attractive versions of Nudar.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
They don't look like big testicles,
sort of
basically.
I guess they reused the design for Bender's Big Score, but made it grosser.
Yes, because we have to think in 2003 terms. Yeah, but also Adoy.
Adoy, yes, the random character they meet at the corner of the universe.
And what is special about Adoy?
He's supposed to be a bit like Yoda.
Yeah.
And his name means duh.
And also, what's Adoy backwards?
Oh, it is Yoda.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Sure. I missed that, yeah, okay.
How highbrow.
Oh, yeah. It went over my head. Obviously, it was too sophisticated for Phil.
Can Phil run down the plot?
It's all about how Mom takes over the world by buying the Planet Express company. It gives her a majority share in Earth, which means she now owns it. She turns everyone into a slave and turns the Earth into a spaceship, a warship that can then take over the universe. The Planet Express crew have to repair the ship, escape, and then get enough fuel for their ship to get to the corner of the universe to get a time machine working where they can go back and prevent the professor from ever selling the company. Except because it's a continuity of time, it's a time continuum, it all has to have happened as it originally happened anyway. And
so it has a bad ending.
It has a bad ending because the episode, the plot just starts again from where it began.
I remember it was something that was brought up earlier on in the podcast episodes ago that I would be infuriated by the idea of the corner of the universe, and I am.
Yes.
I hate this.
Yeah, they even visualize it with just sort of like greyish walls in which the planet floats.
Time travel, I can dig. I can be on board with that, but the corner of the universe just rubs me the wrong way. It's just
frustrating, isn't it?
It's the worst.
Well, they go to the edge of the universe in one episode.
Yes, but then
they
look
look over into the cowboy universe.
Yes, which means there's more universe, which I can...
Yeah, they just sort of butt up against each other.
Yeah, which means it's a circle, but then, of course, I ask you what's on the outside of that circle, and then...
It just kind of inverts into another universe.
Yes.
Which you can sort of... you can kind of get, right? It makes sense.
I'm on board with that. But a corner, no.
No.
Because that's a square or something...
A cube.
A cube of sorts. No, it's a square. It's two-dimensional.
Oh, no.
Because they're all two-dimensional.
Not in this.
Not in this.
Not in this. The something I wanted to mention is that all of the characters look very strange front on.
Yes, except of Bender.
Bender's fine front on.
Because he's geometrically pleasing.
Yeah, because he's sort of a cylinder.
Yeah.
Whereas everyone else is sort of pointy. And so they look fine side on, but straight on, it looks wrong. It looks very wrong.
In particularly Fry's hair.
Yes. And the professor's lips.
Yeah,
look very strange straight on.
There's just something about Fry, I don't know what I imagined Fry's hair to, what the actual hairstyle to be, but it's envisaged as just a mohawk, isn't it?
Sort of,
or a faux hawk almost. He just takes the middle part of his hair and just
kind of flips
gels that up. Although he doesn't gel it because we know it's natural Fry oils that, I think it's just his natural oils that make the hair stand up.
Yeah. It makes him look a bit balding as well.
I can understand that.
Yeah, it sort of cuts in behind the crest, as it will. Yeah.
Which it's sad because that's what I used to do to my hair. Have a nice hairstyle that goes with my incredibly receding hairline as I just leant into it and started doing the spiked up deal.
The fry spike.
The fry spike, as it were.
I think Mom looks all right from the front as well.
She does.
She looks okay. Her character model looks okay.
Well, you know what? I think a lot of times in the series is that she is doing things direct to camera anyway.
That's true. Yeah,
like,
she's always addressing the screen.
Yeah. So I think we're used to that as well. Like the sons look weird.
Yes.
Enos, is it Ignis? Enos? What's the name of the youngest son again? It's like Ig something. I should know this. We've done this many times before.
Yes, I always forget the son's name.
He is creepy as fuck.
Yeah, I mean, they're creepy already.
It's like when The Simpsons, when they went 3D for the episode where Homer goes into the weird...
yes, isn't only Homer that goes to
It's only Homer, yeah. He looks the worst.
It looks wrong.
They don't... Oh my God.
Like, and the CG is quite poor at that.
Yes. So you didn't...
I thought it was quite boring in places. I thought there were good bits about it that worked. So things that work are where they play up the game aspects of the plot, which would have been more fun if I was playing the game.
The toaster,
so they explain in the world why they can respawn and have lives. I also like that they go when they have to activate the time tunneler. They have to get to the generator, which happens to be across a dangerous swamp. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry. I know. It's a stupid place to build a generator.
A bit of a cheeky meta. It's like,
it's a meta
you have to do it, because then you do the gameplay and you're like, yes, I could.
And there's good explanation for why he gets the gun as well. Because he needs to have a gun.
I have a question on that. So Fry goes to the pawn. He has to make his way to the pawn shop through the horribly generated sewers and over the rooftops with the weird anti-gay joke that happens with those two robots.
It just falls very flat.
And you just kind of got to gloss past that. Yeah. 2003, I guess. And then he goes to the pawn shop. Do they insinuate that he killed the pawn shop owners?
There's gunfire.
Yeah. And then he comes away with a gun. Fry's a murderer. He just straight up...
Maybe it's run by evil robots.
I guess.
You don't know.
Maybe those two robots, the racist robots.
Yeah,
racist
sure.
robots.
The
homophobic robots. They might be racist too.
Robo-homophobic.
Robo-homophobic? Hobophobic? What?
They're not afraid of hobos.
No, they could be.
Who knows? Well, he got a lot of prejudices.
I mean, he also insinuates that he wouldn't have been okay with a robosexual relationship.
No.
Because the first thing he said was, what you think about human women? Yeah. And he's like,
that's what he says,
robot men. He's like,
and then there's just awkward silence. It's not even a punchline. It's very bad. Just scenes so the bits I don't like is like the scenes where they set up Bender's level by him having to fall out of the spaceship, and it's just sort of takes too long. It's sort of boring and dull.
That's so funny because I had liked that joke. Like, you've got a really far off camera shot of him just falling out, and there's just a moment where mum and eldest son, God, I should know these names. I'm just going to have to edit in the names afterwards to make me sound smart. I won't. I'll leave all this in. And he just points up at the guy and just goes, there's a robot trying to escape. That's weird.
Yeah, you're not making it sound bad.
No, it is. It's the awkward humor. It's great.
It does feel a bit awkward. I think Bender's line in particular, there's something missing about his humor. I don't know. And it's just, there's not a lot of gags. It's just them being a bit stupid.
I don't know.
I don't know. I just didn't enjoy it that much.
I really did. I thought, for me, it was a mixture between the fact that what's great is, unlike when you see a video game that's like an adaptation from like a live action show or a movie, like a Bond film or whatever, there's something about when they get the original cast to do the voices, something about it feels stilted generally because it just doesn't translate. Yeah. I had the opposite.
Oh.
I thought it really translates well to the game. Like, the voice acting for me was spot on pretty much across the board.
The performances were okay. I just think the pacing was a bit off, and there just weren't enough gags.
I thought there was a lot of wittiness to it, which I really enjoyed. Like, it felt
very much...
Give me some
examples.
Give you some examples. Okay, so when Farnsworth and Mum are in the spaceship, so she's already captured him, and I've done that 2 weeks in a row now. I apologize, listener.
Twang.
And me, because I'm the one editing this one this week. Chris.
Take it again.
And no, it stays in. Mum says something to the effect of, I'm going to, I'll get the exact line, I'll put this in later, but basically she says, I'm going to take over the world, da-da-da, and Farnsworth said, well, not if you... I can't remember the damn line, but it was funny, damn it. I'll find it out later, and then when we re-record on Sunday, I'll add it in.
Sure, you're not really making a case. That
Yeah,
you can't
I'm not.
even remember the jokes.
You know why? Because I didn't write anything down because I was enjoying the episode so much. Farnsworth trying to kill Fry, to me, was really funny. The
That's a good gag,
whole thing
yeah.
where he's like, well, you know, I've actually been trying for a week to kill you. And then he's like, oh, here's that hammerback you wanted. Oh, no, I don't need it. And the penny drops for Fry. He's like, you fucker.
I think it's stronger earlier on.
When it gets to Adoy, for me, is when it got weird. Like,
Gets a little
the
bit
pace
weird,
just
yeah.
completely dropped when Adoy entered. And that whole scene on the fake Dagobah.
Okay, so there's a couple of gags in there that are actually okay for me. So I do quite like Zoidberg. What are you doing here? I'm making a cameo, which I think was quite funny. Oh, it was quite good. I quite like the circular plot as well. That's quite clever.
They always do time travel really well. I don't think they've done a bad time travel story.
No, weirdly, because it's very
Hard
easy
to do.
Yeah, it's easy to fuck up. Is what I was
Yes.
trying to say. Yeah.
Easy to fuck up, hard to do.
The final gag is that like, I won't sell the Planet Express, and she goes, "What if I throw in a fancy hat?"
Yeah.
and it ties it all back to the beginning, and it's clever. It's neat. It's nice.
I wish I had, because my short-term memory is really awful, and I usually write down all the lines that I like. I didn't do it this time. I do enjoy like little cheeky gags where Sal has to correct himself on not putting S's on the ends of his words.
Yeah. I quite like the sun god saying, "I'm not actually a god. I'm just a normal, super intelligent, omniscient, eternal being."
You didn't even write that down.
No.
I
Just
hate
remembered
you.
it.
I just must have early onset dementia. There's no history of it in my family, but
I guess for me, because it's scenes that string together levels in a video game, things like the sun diversion don't really have a lot of point. Yes, they have to get dark matter for this ship
yeah.
to go to the next level.
It's a
But
very
it just-
game thing, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
go to this place, get this thing, go to this place, get this thing.
Yeah.
And it's very obviously meant to be a thing of now you're going to have this character as a playable
Yes.
character. Like
Yeah.
it's the Fry story, then the Bender story, then the Leela story, then the Zoidberg sidetrack, and then I don't know if you get to play all of them. I'm unclear.
yeah, I don't know how that boss level works because they just cut.
to Destructor, and then he
Being
just gets the
shot.
final shot. So maybe
Yeah.
it's Fry because he has
Maybe
the
it's
gun.
the Fry level.
Yeah. And then maybe you have Farnsworth with Mum at the end. I'm unclear. Because he's obviously, when they all die, bless you, when they all
I'm
get
getting
crushed finally by Destructor and the reanimator's no longer there, then you've got Farnsworth and Mum in the box.
Yeah,
Whether-
but it doesn't feel like there's any gameplay there.
No, it doesn't. But yeah, then again, they did take out a lot of gameplay too.
They just
a
show
lot of cutscenes.
Oh, they just
Yeah.
just the bits that they need.
Any ones that made reference to the actual game, like there was apparently a gag where Leela actually says, "Great, I'm a playable character now." Like, and then they start her thing.
Yeah, that wouldn't
and-
make sense if you're just
No.
stringing them together.
Yeah, anything that made allusions to the actual game, with the exception of Zoidberg's cameo.
Yes.
Or anything kind of with all the minor characters, like I think Mum's kids, there was a lot more cutscenes too. All that's just taken straight out.
Explain me this.
Okay.
Mum needs Farnsworth's head, right?
Yes.
She needs it because it's got the blueprint for the antimatter reactor, the dark matter reactor in it, right?
Yes.
But what it looks like they actually do is they like put his head and make his head the engine, because they just hook up his head to a giant glowing cylinder, and then he goes, "Ow! Ooh, the pain!"
So
They don't actually extract the information for the reactor from his head. They just use his head to power the Earth.
the only thing I can think of is that did they just remove his body so he doesn't fight back?
I
Maybe?
don't know. It's just sort of for convenience. She just goes, all I need is your head. So she just takes that with her.
just for the malicious intent of removing his head from his body.
Yeah. But she wants a dark matter reactor.
Yeah.
But instead, it seems like his head can power the whole Earth as a spaceship.
Yeah, it's almost as if there's some sort of technology that allows you to translate thought into, like, if you think you know how to make an engine, you are an engine.
You are an engine,
Yes. Thought begats functionality,
Yes,
I guess.
because otherwise it makes no sense for why they would hook his brain up, other than just to hurt him.
That's some
which is
superior-
fine.
Yeah. Maybe it has both a practical and just a malicious intent behind it as well.
I found it also incongruous where Mum goes, "Oh, that professor from the Planet Express," and not Not the professor who used to work for me and I had an affair with.
Yes, not Hubert. Hubert,
yeah, who I know intimately.
Farn dog. How many Farnsworths are there?
Not many.
How
I
many
guess.
Professor Farnsworths are there? Oh yeah. So do you want me to tell you a bit about the painstaking way that this adventure got made?
Yes.
So there was 5 years difference between the game and the actual billion backs.
The DVD it was released on, yeah.
Yes. And when it came to them thinking about making this Lost Adventure, they realized that the company that made the game, which was UDS, Unique Development Studios, a Swedish company, had gone out of business.
Belly up.
Yep. And got bought out by another company, which I had to track down, which was Daydream Software.
Don't know them either.
They went belly up too.
Right.
And then they were apparently bought out by an online poker company site, which I can't find any reference to anywhere. So I don't know if they went belly up too. They may have.
Possibly. There's a lot of competition in that area.
So they had to find some of the original UDS employees who apparently had AVI files of the cutscenes, which aren't the best quality.
Right. So that would explain a lot.
Oh, no. That's not how they got it. Matt Groening, they got the game, and Matt Groening played through the game, and he still had a memory card. And so they got all the they had to play through the entire game.
Those poor things.
No, they did the cheat codes to get the thing, and then they just got it off basically the PlayStation or Xbox, one of the two.
Wow.
Basically, Matt Groening played Futurama the game to make this Lost Adventure for us.
Wow, that's a pretty good fact. Yeah, that makes me like it a little bit more. I mean, you could, like, as soon as you turn it on the DVD, it's the aspect ratio is tiny. It doesn't fit inside your widescreen TV.
No.
There's a huge swath of black space around the screen, and what's on the screen itself is incredibly poor quality.
That 30th century logo, fuck.
Yes.
Already you knew you were in for a polygon time.
Yes. The fact that it's in crappy low polygon 3D is not the worst. You can look past it as long as the writing's on point. But this again is where we differ, right? Where I found it slightly boring and meandering.
I want you to watch it again. Because, okay, let's peek behind the veil of this podcast.
We're going to show them how the sausage is made.
This is day 2.
Yeah.
Because we got halfway through.
We were a bit pressed for time yesterday.
For the folks at home and abroad, Adelaide Fringe is a thing that occurs. This is the busiest time of the year for Adelaide.
It's super busy. It's crazy.
It feels busier than Christmas. I could be lying, but it
probably is.
For actors anyway. For us, this is the busy time.
Actors and hospitality workers.
Yes. So... Yeah. We're nabbing a bit of time now to get the second half done.
Yes.
And in that time, I was meant to find quotes from the episode that I enjoyed. I've had zero time to do that.
Not done that.
I found a few because people, surprisingly enough, there aren't quotes online of the cutscenes of a video game that is 15 years old. 16 years old.
Come
as
on,
of now.
IMDb, up your game.
So,
I mean, also to let them in behind things, I was feeling absolutely atrocious yesterday.
Yeah,
so
I think that's a reason. Yeah,
my energy might be a bit up today. You might be able to clearly delineate a line between where I feel terrible and where I feel okay again.
Shit Phil and Supreme Phil.
And yeah, yesterday, because I was feeling so crappy, I did not enjoy this episode at all. I think... may have had part of it. It may have just not been to my taste.
It may not have been to your taste at all. So the first one, which you ended up... So the one where I absolutely fucked it up.
You couldn't even remember the quote at all.
The context of the quote. No. You remembered it.
I did, yeah. It's between the professor and Mum.
And he talks about stopping her. He's like,
I'm going to stop you.
You're not going to get away with this.
Yes, and she goes, well, actually, I've made the Earth into a giant warship. And he goes, maybe you're going to get away with it.
I think that was classic Futurama.
Yeah, it's not
witty.
bad. It's a little bait and switch.
Zoidberg's entrance, which I know was one of the points that you really liked.
Yes, yeah, I'm making a cameo.
I can't imagine what kind of disgusting, foul creatures we'll find here.
Yes.
Hello. There's a whole bunch of lines, and I might do a little sneaky and edit them in here.
Are you off your nut, Professor? How could you sell the company to Mom?
I had to. We've been losing money. Perhaps my strategy of using a giant spaceship to deliver one package at a time wasn't as clever as I thought. Plus, you three never actually charged anyone.
And here...
So why did you allow all those people to be killed?
For their bones, of course. which I use to create my army of bone bots.
Bone bots? You know, normal people make their robot armies out of metal.
Yes, but my way is more evil.
But not here.
Pterodactyl, saber-toothed tiger, mastodon, triceratops, tyrannosaurus.
And that's also great because you won't actually be able to rebut any
No,
of those.
I won't be able to say, Sean, that's not funny. You're
Yeah.
wrong.
Everyone else can do that.
There's just something awkward about the timing of it. It's really hard to pin down. I just found certain bits a bit. I think the point where I really got a bit over it was when they're leaving the sun.
Soul, yep.
Yes. Did I mention this?
I think so,
previously?
yeah.
Maybe we
It's
can
an
cut-
idea, even as a game, like it feels like it's a weird sidetrack to the main
Yes.
story that is, once again, I think as we said, is that very much of, like all games, it's go to this location, get this thing, go to this location,
Yes.
get this thing. They can't escape that.
But I found the gag where they go, oh, now we're off to the temple to celebrate. And they're like, don't look behind you. Cheese it! It just felt like they were just ticking boxes. Like Bender says, cheese it. They run away. Like, it just felt really forced.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't like it very much.
I did also enjoy that some of the classic Futurama gags, even if it feels a bit tick boxy, that's a phrase, it works really well. Like everyone at the very beginning, they're like, off to the ship, and everyone runs off, and then Farnsworth takes an extra 5-10 seconds.
Yeah, it's a bit of a timing gag. Yeah, some bits work.
A lot of the entrances and exits do feel awkward. Probably because they
Yes.
lead into gameplay
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, that's probably right. Yeah.
I do love treating this
Like
as
an episode.
a legitimate episode.
Yeah.
It's great. Like, you know what it is as well? Is I think when we compare this to other side missions, right? This felt like it almost could have been a fan directed episode.
Yeah,
like,
possibly, yeah.
Like not Radiorama. Fanorama was. And it feels like it was executed a lot better. Like there's something about it that doesn't feel very Futurama, but at the same time it does feel like a really good homage and attempt at creating Futurama with the crux of not being able to use the rough draft studios and have that, clear cut animation.
Yeah.
There is something to be said for
but
PlayStation.
also somehow managing to get the voices of the original characters. It would have been really nice, I think, something they did with other kind of features like Radiorama, like some of the movies and things, is they really lean into the fan service and they just throw in as many characters as they can.
Yes.
And I feel like they could have done it in this and been self-aware about it, and that would have been nice.
Well, Amy and Hermes isn't in this at all.
Not at all.
I'd be interested to know if they're in the game in
they
like
just-
a cutscene that has no relevance.
Maybe they couldn't get their voices for it. They were busy.
Yeah,
because
I know a lot was cut out from this Lost Adventure that was in the game.
Yes,
That included minor characters, a lot of stuff with the sons, the three sons, not
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you don't want to. I mean, it's already half an hour long.
without commercials.
Yes, so you don't really need. It's good to chop it down.
Yeah.
So maybe they didn't make the grade for that reason, but it would have been nice. Like, it's nice when something appears in another medium to be like, oh, here's this person and this person and what, and it would have been nice to, like, maybe the game wasn't long enough, but what powers does Hermes have? What powers does Amy have? Maybe nothing unique, and that's why.
Here's a question for you, and it's hard to answer these because we are gonna do a side mission at a later date where we actually play the game. I think I've stated that before. We actually play the game. We'll go through it. But would you, if I wasn't forcing you to do it, play this game?
No, not at all. No, it looks terrible. I have much better things to do with my time, like pick my belly button lint.
We can do that for a side mission too.
Yeah, it's just a half-hour film of me doing that. I'm just going to quickly Metacritic.
Let me
Oh my God, I
make
can't
a. I'm going to say it's going to be 33%.
You've been a bit harsh, unfortunately.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Where's it sitting?
59.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Has a user score of 6.2 or 63 if you want to even them out. 3 positive reviews, 15 mixed reviews, and 4 negative reviews. So the user scores just kind of across. GameShark gave it an 80 or an 8 out of 10. A lot of people say it's just a long episode of Futurama. Average. People seem to think it's a very average game. Seems about right from the small amount of gameplay that they show in the episode.
I don't want to get into it too much now, but I would love to see what they would do with a Futurama game with the engines and the systems that we have now.
I mean, yeah, what kind of game would you make?
Well, that's it. Do you try and lean into the really...
Do you make a 3D action platformer like Futurama the game is? Or
just make it super wacky?
Yeah, or do you maybe make it... I mean, they did this with Simpsons already, but make it sort of like a Crazy Taxi thing where you're the Planet Express and you have to fly the ship and you have to do deliveries.
I guess it depends
that would
whether
be
you can get
fun.
The writers back as well, because if you want to do Futurama as Futurama, I think you're going to need a lot of those classic... If you want to get that classic Futurama feel, you need the classic team.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether you could get that.
I also think, maybe just you don't have to make a game of everything.
Well, you can, though.
And just like you don't have to make a movie of every game. Just stop, Hollywood. Please stop.
Futurama,
you're hurting
the
us.
live-action movie.
They did that.
They did.
We didn't like it very much.
No. I mean, I'd interested to know if 20th Century Fox was actually behind it. Like, who would they cast?
Katie
John DiMaggio and Billy West.
Recursive, right. Yeah. I've slightly improved my opinion from yesterday in that...
You're welcome.
Yeah. In that I think it's okay for what it is.
Yeah.
Given its origins and how it's put together, it's a pretty good product. It's not totally dire and embarrassing. Didn't make me feel awful. And it did make me laugh at points. It's just a bit hard of a task to cobble together an episode out of bits of gameplay and cutscenes. It's hard. And they've done a passable job, and I didn't hate myself having watched it.
That's good. I'm glad.
What's your conclusion?
I ended up enjoying this much more than I thought I was going to. I thought it was just going to be this kind of... this pile of sludge that made absolutely no sense, would be incoherent. There are parts of it, like I'm very interested to know whether the music that they slapped on during the bits of gameplay, was that for the Lost Adventure or is that in the actual game? Because there's a point where you're playing Bender and there's an atrocious remix. It's
God,
what was it? Like, if it's a game choice,
Bender's voice.
Why? And if it's the Lost Adventure choice, why? Like, it was just weird sounds mixed in with Bender speaking.
Yes, it was not fun.
It was the worst. But that aside, like I think I thoroughly enjoyed this a lot more. I was surprised that it felt a lot more like a Futurama product than I imagined it would.
Yeah.
I was pleasantly surprised by the outcome, and I had a lot of fun. I constantly found myself envisaging how it would look, this script as a Futurama episode. And it seemed to, with a few tweaks that you'd make, especially towards a lot of the self-referential parts of it being a game, and adding in more of the characters, like, Hermes and Amy's for starters.
Yeah.
Why Zoidberg is
Scruffy.
on the goddamn planet. Where is Scruffy? I think it actually has the potential to be a passable good episode.
Yeah. The plot isn't awful. Like,
Nah.
it feels like a Futurama plot.
Like, it's crazy. We're in a world where if you own a certain amount of companies, you own the planet.
You own the whole planet. And you
everyone's
can just,
cool with that.
And you can just instantly turn it into a spaceship.
Yes, it's all whether did she already have that there ready? Surely she did.
She must have, yeah.
Mum has a finger in many pies.
I think the central thing of it being a circular time travel plot, as we mentioned before, is what saves it. It's
So
clever.
good.
It's good writing. It's nice.
And I do like that feature. I like that idea of the game. They have to explain how you get 1-ups and 2-ups. Like, you've got a toaster that keeps creating you. That's your extra guy. Hey, I had another me.
Oh, we lost the thing that gives me extra lives.
I don't think we should do a voice this week. Unless you want to do a voice this week.
I found the original soundtrack.
Oh, really? You got to pop it right up to the mic and... Oh.
It
Maybe.
doesn't have that annoying Bender clip.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to know. I'm unclear.
No, I skipped ahead. It doesn't seem to have it.
They added that in. That was a creative choice.
Maybe like he says like a sound thing when he's doing the tax, and that's what we were hearing.
Maybe because
him going yeah, hey, ooh.
Well, I do know they added sound effects onto the Lost Adventure. They took a lot of the sound effects that were in the game and just enhanced them and put new ones in for the purpose of the episode. As far as the vote is concerned, I don't know if we're doing votes for side missions.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
How do we finish? What do we do?
Well, I apologize to the audience because last week I said next week, being this week, we were doing Silence of the Clams, and we're not.
We're not.
So
or a clamp-like device.
Hopefully next week we are.
Hopefully.
Unless...
We'll lose all our listeners if we don't. You realise that?
I do.
Yeah.
But as an apology, I can let you know that in the works, maybe, no promises, maybe, we may be talking to someone that was involved with Futurama.
What a coup.
What a coup indeed.
Ooh.
Maybe 2.
Oh my... Oh!
But we don't know yet, so nothing's promised.
Don't tell anyone.
No.
Keep it
Under
it
wraps.
much more secret than I have.
Yes. Oh, have you been...
No, it's a Simpsons quote. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I apologize.
I've got to tell you something, but you have to keep it much more secret than I have.
Be great for this. Yes, okay. I apologize, listeners. So next week, if you'd like to join us again, we will be here, I hope, I pray, for Silence of the Clamps.
Clamps with Ellen, I hope, I pray.
Yeah. Hopefully Ellen will be
Hopefully
back.
we haven't lost you through our meandering, cut-together, 2-part look at the episode derived from a 15-year-old Futurama game.
This is the Cut Together podcast about a cut together episode.
Yes.
About a probably cut together game by a cut apart game developing company.
If you're still with us after all this, thank you
We
so
love
much.
you.
Thank you.
If you'd like to tell us how woeful this episode has been, or if you thoroughly enjoyed it and want more of these slapdash episodes, you can let us know by contacting us at babybeardmedia@gmail.com.
You can hit us up on Facebook.
Face back.
You can hit us up on Facebook, which is my baby. You can tell me how badly the London Spitfire are going to do in the Overwatch League this year, because I put their banner up today, because I'm a little fanboy.
I saw it.
If you want to see Ellen's baby, you can go on Instagram, where she posts all her Baby Beard-related things there as well. Both of them are at Baby Beard Media, so check us out.
And you can check out my baby on Twitter. See, we all spread the love on social media, which is also at Baby Beard Media. And also, if you'd like to help us out, the best way you can do it, I know it's annoying and I know it's a drag, but if you go onto the podcast app or onto iTunes, you give us a cheeky little rate, a 5-star review, it really does go a long way to helping us let the powers that be know that we are a good podcast.
I want to see us in...
The New and Noteworthy?
New and Noteworthy. I want to see it happen.
Yeah. This year, 2019.
Make it happen for us, folks.
Last but not least, I'd just like to give a shout out to the Simpsons Index, which is another fellow Australian podcast. They are a podcast. They are an online spreadsheet, but also a podcast that focuses on 3 episodes of The Simpsons every week. One from the HD era, one from the noughties, and one from the classic 90s. And they gave us a shout out a few weeks back on their podcast, which was lovely of them. But do check them out. They are a fascinating insight into the Simpsons' descent from greatness to bullplop. And sometimes back up again. So worth a listen. We may pop up there at some point. You never know. Until that time, I have been the Can't Remember Quotes man, Sean.
And I've been out of lives, Phil.
Bye now.
I am the one who burps.
They're making a Breaking Bad movie.
Why?
Apparently going to be a sequel to Breaking Bad that focuses on the next adventure of Jesse Pinkman.
Oh. I wouldn't really call Breaking Bad an adventure for Jesse. It basically ruins his life.
And this is how he finds his smile again.
Sean, we lost a dear friend this week.
Oh, God.
I'm talking about Opportunity.
What was the opportunity?
You know, Opportunity was the little rover that could.
See, okay, now I haven't read anything about this yet. Is it just that it's...
Oh, you only had 15 years. They sent their final signal to it to see if it would wake up, and now it has been officially declared dead.
But you can't stop the signal.
It stopped. The signal has ceased.
Did that reference go over your head?
What is it? It's
I
not
made
Hackers,
a
is it?
Serenity reference.
Oh,
do you know
it's
that they do like Serenity parties, like every now and then? Like they actually do.
Who
like,
does?
Lonely single people.
so you specifically.
me. Had the big bonfire, the big campfire, and a big open space, and there's dancers and all like. I thought that'd be cool to like recreate that and
Oh,
then do
right.
like an outdoor showing of Serenity as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think the takeaway from this, really, for the people at home, is that Sean is lonely on Signal. Signal?
See, you can't stop the
I
signal.
can't stop it. I actually, I showed it to Faith. She really didn't like it. I was really disappointed.
Wait.
We didn't even get that far in the season. We got like 4 episodes in.
Oh, she gave it a good
She
crack.
gave it a good crack, but it just wasn't for her.
Even the train job.
She just didn't. The cowboys and space thing. She's just like, why is it like a western in space? It doesn't make any sense. It's stupid. I don't like it. She just couldn't get over the premise.
Oh, Faith is emphatically wrong.
Yeah, and the Joss Whedon dialogue didn't do anything for it. It just didn't work. Sorry, guys. She did like Russian Doll, though, and completely different.
I'm aghast. I am aghast.
I believe it's gassed, but
No,
good.
I'm American. It's a
I'm
hangover.
aghast.
I am aghast.
I'm aghast.
That's another thing Simpsons Index does. They have like just hey, what are you recommending this week? And it could be anything. Be any fucking thing. So it's great.
I'm recommending Scratching Your Balls.
Well, we're not on... Is that a Netflix original?
No, it's just the thing I recommend.
Oh.